We're live now. Good evening, everybody. I'm sorry I haven't made a video in a while. Like I said, I've been very busy blogging and stuff. I recently saw this video from another creator on YouTube. I'm trying to pronounce her name. It starts with a P, and she mentioned her thing to the hospital. And I thought, I might as well tell my story too because my journey in the, shall we say, funny farm, as I like to call it. Okay, I'll just be serious. It's the psych ward. Well, I've been there numerous times, and I thought I'd like to give my little story about it. So here we go. Prepared. It's one crazy ride, pun intended. So when I was 5 years old, well, I'm sure you guys have seen from the stories on my DeviantArt and stuff that my father used to, he really hurt me physically and mentally. And it got to the point where I ended up having to go someplace for a couple weeks. Let's call it First, because that is the name of it. And while I was there, it was kind of weird at first because, I was away from my mom and my sister, and that kind of weirded me out. Like I wasn't used to sleeping in my bed. And well, the first night was one of the funniest moments of the first night. I ended up they ended up giving me risperidone for like my new medication because I used to be on Adderall, and it turned out I didn't have ADHD. Blame my physician for giving me that medicine at 6. It wasn't good. So they gave me Risperol, and when I didn't chew it, I didn't swallow it. I chewed it, and thank goodness it wasn't a capsule, but that was a foul tasting thing. So I learned how to swallow my meds from there. um, there were a couple roommates of mine. They were a little older and very easygoing. I've been that way for a while. Like I tend to get along with the older folks, and like whenever I'm out in public and like places, rather than the younger folks. I don't know. My previous therapist says because I have an old soul or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I do dress in Victorian fashion, so it's that. Anyway, I remember at school there was a bit strange. The teacher was nice though. She told me her last name she said was a stage name, which I didn't realize was a joke. I mean she was a teacher and stuff. Um, but yeah, it was okay. Hey, bye. My cat came in. So yeah, they had leveling systems there too, and I could not wait to reach level 2 because then you could play a PlayStation there. So when I did that, I got to play the first Sonic game I ever played, Sonic Adventures 2, and I still have the ROM for it to this day. The second time I was in the hospital, this is when I was a teenager. Excuse me if let's say I was going through a rough time back then, and of course 14 was zero and I officially came out and stuff. But before that, like I was growing my hair out, and my caseworker Tammy, who was a total B word, she really got me like hot headed and stuff. Like, and especially with like when you're full of testosterone, you get enraged and stuff. That's just natural stuff. I did not like it. My own body was poisoning itself. Well, anyway, she was saying, like, repeatedly telling me to cut my hair, and it got me so riled up that I grabbed a piece of a dog crate and I chucked it, but not at anyone. And unfortunately, they had to 302 me, which was involuntary commitment. Uh, it was a rough time. Yeah, they had me in the hospital with cuffs. It was weird. But eventually, I kind of got used to it. And, well, as you guys could tell in my DeviantArt article too, like the doctors there weren't very understanding. The psychiatrist I had, it's very incompetent, shall we say. Okay, bye. So I ended up, I made a few friends there actually, though. One of them, Violet, my cat's acting up. One of them was a Crip, believe it or not, and his roommate was a Blood. So there were two of them, and let's say things got a little heated. The sad thing was, me of all people, I was Violet. Come on, me of all people, I was the mediator. So I had to, kitty. I had to basically stop them from fighting. I guess I was the peacemaker. Violet, get out. Come on. Okay, stay under the bed. Sorry about that. My cat sometimes goes into things when she's not supposed to, and now she's gonna look out the window. Anyway, I was a mediator for the psych group, or not psych group. I mean for the Crip and the Blood, and they both agreed to hurt each other once they came out of all things. The food there, at first, I'd have to say compared to other hospitals, it was average, not too bad. I did like Salisbury Steak Tuesdays. That was my favorite because I'm a steak lover. No, I'm gonna close the door so she doesn't come back in. At least until we're done with the video. There we go. So yeah, sorry about this. This is unedited. I don't really edit my videos too often. So I ended up liking Salisbury Steak Tuesday, and for some reason, one of the other units, I think it was the drug and alcohol unit, they always took away all the soda, and that. Sorry, I'm sweating. And that kind of was a little bit irritable for me because I love my caffeine. So, yeah, I had a crazy experience with that, and I don't know. It's just like I made some friends there. One of them I actually promised a Whopper to if I beat or if she beat me at ping pong, or not ping pong. It was foosball, and she won. So I gave her the. Why is it so sweaty? I gave her the Whopper that I had. I had two of them because my dad came over. That was the one good thing about Dad was that whenever I was in the hospital, he'd visit. So um, and then there was I used to stay up till midnight because it was summertime, and I would watch The Twilight Zone with Cheryl. No, Cheryl was a really really nice nurse in the beginning, but as you guys can tell in the next part, I'm going to tell you what she did during my last visit. So my last visit was back in 2016. Um, this time I really had to go because my dysphoria was getting really, real bad, and it got to the point where I nearly castrated myself with a butcher's knife. I counted the scars on my legs too. I have 15 on each side, so I'm lucky to be alive. But anyway, they took me to the ER, evaluated me, and I went willingly this time. It was a 201. But yeah, the hospital was a little bit strange that time. Like they treat you differently when well, I was in unit 4, which is like the high functioning adult unit. I don't like to use the word functioning, but that was how it was back then. So when I saw Cheryl again, she was the first one to dead name me and called me selfish and stuff because being the way I am, I can't have kids. And she thought that was a selfish thing. That kind of confused me. And I had a doctor there, a newer one, and he was very, very insensitive, shall we say. He was a jerk. Let's leave it at that. He uh, he tried to like what do you call it? Sorry, it's so freaking hot in here. He tried to like trip me over and like try to convince me that I'm not the way I am, and it didn't work because I know who I am and it's part of my identity, and they can't take that away from you. So I mean, for 2 weeks, I was there, and it was a bit strange because they really had me drugged up. They gave me Ativan, 2 milligrams at night, and Zyprexa. And woof, was that Zyprexa a knocker? I still have it, and next month I'm going on Fanapt. But anyway, the crazy thing was like I would get involved with the activities and stuff, but it was like I was lugging myself around. They had me that zombied up from the medicine, and I'm very religious, so one day I wanted to go to church, but I slept in, and my friend Katie, who was there, she was a good friend too. She let me sleep because she said it looked so peaceful. I was sleeping. Anyway, I did make a friend there who was the local weatherman for NPR. Let's call him Ron. Um, Ron was going through a rough time too. He also had a suicide attempt, and he wouldn't really talk to anyone. So I end up going to the room behind my room, which of course when you're a transsexual woman there, you get your own room. Lucky me. But behind that room there was this other day room, and he would just watch hockey, and I would watch it with him. We'd communicate, like we'd have a good time, we'd talk. he liked me a lot because I was one of the more like less severe cases there, and so was he. Um, uh, so when I left, he said thank you, and he said if it wasn't for me talking to him, he probably would have done himself in had I not been there. So I guess I saved a life. Uh, and there was of course, at the TV, there was this one girl there. She was very, very crabby all the time, very cranky, irritable. She didn't even work as a nurse there, but she was a patient, and she was there for 4 weeks. So she ended up hogging the TV all the time, watching her cartoons and all that stuff. And one day, when everyone went out for lunch, I thought, you know what, I'm going to stay in the unit and just watch some golf because I love golf. That's my favorite sport. So I watched it, and then 5 minutes later, like she left the lunchroom, and then 5 minutes later, she just came back, stormed in, and started yelling at me. I don't even know her name, but I'm glad I didn't. Anyway, she did the old "you're not a real woman" excuse to me as a way to get at me because, I mean, it was my constitutional right as a patient there to watch TV, especially when no one was there. And I wanted to see Jason Day and see how he was doing in golf. Um, yeah. Oh, another story about that. What was I gonna say? Oh, there was one last time, like the last week I was there, 3 days before I was discharged. There was this one kid there, and not really a kid, but he was a little older, but he acted like a kid. Kind of ironic, wouldn't you say? Mm. Well, anyway, he ended up talking about like how he knew everything about me and like we should be friends because of something that we shared in common. I'm like, no, I know nothing about you. I'm just here to get better, and I don't want to be your friend because you're very like judgmental and insinuating stuff about me. And woo, did that get him angry? He tried to do every little thing to irritate me, and the way I saw it, I was going to get out of there within 3 days anyway. So big deal. The ride home was pretty cool though. I got to take a taxi, and that was my last time in first. I know it's not as eventful as I hoped it would be, but I told you some stories from it. Trying to keep it positive too. Oh, and the last time I was there, they did not have Salisbury steaks. They switched it to Taco Day, which is kind of a bummer because I love steak. Well, anyway, that is just my story about my time in the mental hospital. And I hope you all enjoy it. I'm sorry that Violet got a little bit involved with the video. I love her, but she can get under my skin sometimes, especially when it comes to making videos. She always has to be the star. Well, anyway, that was my time at the hospital. And look forward to more videos tomorrow. I'm probably going to be making a let's play of probably either Final Fantasy 12 or Star Wars Galaxies Legends. So keep in touch there. Okay. Have a good one, everyone, and stay safe, stay cool. I'm going to turn on my fan as soon as I'm done here, and I will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all.